has become truly one of my most inspirational friends because they live the life that we desire. Time freedom, being a great parent, and being a great parent means being a present parent. And they're a leader through and through. They're humble, they always listen, they offer advice when needed. And this is somebody that we can go to and we just absolutely count on. And this is a guy who is married, him and his wife, people stand in line just to hug them. Hundreds of people stand in line just to meet them, just to hug them. You guys drove all this way just to see them. How many of you guys live in this area, Northern Colorado? You guys, they live right here. And if you're not taking advantage of that opportunity, shame on you, because people drive hours and hours and fly in to see this couple. And I am so honored to introduce a very dear friend of mine and truly one of the best mentors I've ever seen in this industry, Scott Fardulis.
Thank you. Was Nikki unreal? What a day. Has your gas tank been filled up just a little bit? Yeah. Has your battery gone from kind of waxing and waiting to be a little bit more fully charged? Yes. Good. Did you get what you came for today? Yeah. Are you ready for just a little bit more?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just a couple more nuggets? Good, because I'll finish up and then Tom will finish up with a few closing words as well. But here we go. There are a lot of different groups and types of people in this world, but I want you to think about two of them, just two. So if we take all the groups of people, all the types of people, let's just focus down on two. So, well, that's a great marker. Invisible ink. Let's see if this one does any better. And if it doesn't, I'm not panicked, don't worry. Two people. One, these are people that make decisions. The second person is the person that inspires. Decision makers. Which of these two groups do you spend more of your time operating under? Do you find yourself making decisions, or do you find yourself more often inspiring decision makers? Let me give you a few examples. How many of you woke up today and brushed your teeth? Went to the bathroom, took a shower, washed your hair, ate some food? I know you're laughing with me, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. We didn't have to do well. We still have to scrub our scalp. So now let's break down those two groups of people just a little bit more. How many times do you think that people make good decisions versus bad decisions? Okay, that's group number one. Group number two, people that inspire decision makers to make either good decisions or bad decisions. You see where this is going? Okay, could you imagine that your world would be a little bit more positive, a little bit more successful? I'll just stand over here, James, which is better for you. A little bit more positive, a little bit more successful if you learned how to get into the number two category and you inspired decision makers to make good decisions. I'll give you an example of a bad decision. There are people that are extremely successful in a very bad world of human trafficking. That's inspiring, would you say, for decision making. There are people that are very successful in the world of drug dealing. Would you agree with me that that is influencing people to make poor decisions? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Then there's people that inspire decision makers to change their life for the better, to lift up people around them, to work on themselves, to develop teams of people, to plug into positive things in their world. Can you imagine now how your world would look if you built other people up around you? Okay, so I'm on a plane coming back from Punta Cana with Juliet. We get off of one plane in, where were we transferring? We were in Newark, New Jersey. So we're in Newark, New Jersey, and this is one messed up airport. You want to go to just a cluster. You go to Newark, New Jersey. Poor signage. We just rambled all over creation in that place and never had a clue. And I like to think I'm a fairly intelligent person, and I can read signs. There are like no signs, had no idea what gate to go to, where to go. We had to ask a million questions to figure out how to get from here to there. But in the middle of all this, we're traveling with a couple of other companion mates, and it's Sean and Annalise Brown. Anybody know Sean and Annalise Brown? This is one amazing couple, and you talk about funny. Sean Brown is the funniest guy I have ever met in my life. I don't know anybody funnier than Sean Brown. And Tom's a good close second. That's an inside joke. They go back and forth about who's funnier. And we all take a vote in the public. But we get off this plane, and we're off and into the jetway, and we're moving all over creation, and we think we have all the time in the world. I mean, there's like an hour and 15 minutes before we even need to be to the next gate to board. Plenty of time, right? You would think. But by the time we got lost about 5 times, and then we finally got to the line to go through security, because it was an international connection, so we had to go through a whole extra security process. This line was so long. It was like wrapped all over creation, and I'm quickly tabulating how many people are in that line and how slowly it's moving, and I'm going, there's no way. There is absolutely no way we are going to make this flight. And in the midst of all that, here comes this woman, and this is a spontaneous story, Nikki made me think of it. Here comes this woman, and she's hand carrying a child not old enough to walk on her own. And she's got 2 little boys, cute as could be, and they're each pulling their own suitcases, and they are wandering all over creation with no idea whether to turn left or right or go up and down. And as long as this line is, these little boys, they're like, I'm not standing in that line, and they're cutting in the line and like underneath legs and just moving and moving through the flow. And this mother is out of sorts. She is having a fit, trying to corral these 2 little boys, manage her own little child in her arms. She's clearly a single mom, figuring everything out. And Annalise Brown takes notice of this situation, and she immediately goes, bam, right over there, and she is serving this mom. Let me carry your baby for you. I know you don't know me. It's okay. I'm a mom. I've got 4 boys of my own, and she's got that little baby in her arms. And Sean is then corralling the 2 boys, figures out their names instantaneously, and is herding them and getting them where they need to go. In just a matter of minutes, this complete stranger, out of sorts couple in a crazy world is our best friends in the whole world. And they know that we're all in their corner. We're there to serve them. We're to help them. Friendship has been forged forever. And even though it was impossible to get through that line, which it pretty much was, miraculously at the last minute, some things happened. And we got through that line. And then right when it looks like everything's ready to break loose, we are in the area where you put your suitcases in, you take off your shoes, that whole deal. And everything freezes and shuts down. There's 10 employees over here laughing their heads off in the line for like TSA pre-check. There's nobody over there. There's a billion people over there, and they have nothing to do. And I snap, and I don't snap very often. But I about had it up to here. And so I figure I'm defending all the weak and the hopeless and the helpless. And I just about got myself arrested and thrown in prison. I stepped up, and I just about ripped the guy's head off that was doing the baggage check stuff. And I said, you. And he said, yes. And I said, what in the world is going on with this mess? You got 10 cohorts over here. You're standing here like this is no big deal. All of our bags are frozen in there. We've got 30 seconds to get to our flight, and this place is going nowhere fast. Do you think for a second you could like wrestle to the ground some of your compadres over here, bring them over here and help out this side of the line so we could go a little bit faster? And that didn't work out so well. It did not work out well at all. Juliet got upset at me. She's giving me the fireball eyes. All the people that I had made friends with in line were suddenly not my friends anymore. They had nothing to do with it.
You're in Jersey.
I was in Jersey. What was I thinking? Yeah. So what I want you to get out of this story is you can work an entire lifetime to develop your reputation. And in 30 seconds, you can destroy it. And it's sometimes not possible to get it back again because those people know you for that moment. Does that make sense? They don't know how nice of a guy you were coming up to that moment or what you normally are like. They only know what happened right here, right now, and that's all they've got in their head. Can you picture how this serves or doesn't serve you?
Yes.
I found myself being uninspiring with people to make poor decisions. Because by example, I showed people what not to do and what a jerk I could be really, really fast. Got the picture?
Yes.
Yes.
Got the lesson.
Yes.
We want to inspire good decision making, not be uninspiring and making people make poor decisions. So that's one thing. So I'm going to kind of go all over the place today because I'm filling in the gaps today. That's what I'm doing. But it still has to do with leadership, and you're getting great skill stuff. I had a mentor very early on, probably in my very early 20s. And when I was really excited, and Juliet was really excited about being the best that we could possibly be, it was like our body language, our behavior, how we acted, how we portrayed ourselves to be in all environments and in all circumstances. And I remember he says, when you're in a room like this, you sit, now don't feel like you have to do this just because I'm telling you this story right now, but I want you to think about it. He said, you sit on the edge of your chair. You lean forward when there's somebody talking that's working for you in front of the room. I saw some people shifting. And when they ask a question, you give an answer. And when they raise your hand, that's a sign, I'm looking for buy-in and weigh-in. You raise your hand too. And you nod and you give energy. Because you know how hard it is to stand in front of this room? It's really, really hard. And when you say, oh, they're so good at it. They're so comfortable at it. Denise is so gifted. She's just so funny and fun to talk to. And she makes such great points. And she gets people into their world. I mean, wasn't Denise amazing?
Yes.
And don't you just like it when she says, I don't know if this is a good, every time she does that, she says, I don't know if this is a good, I'm like, it's a good thing. Don't you like it when she just goes with it? It's just much more natural, very funny, very relatable, but it takes a lot of work to prepare to be in front of this room. And so I always want you as students, as people that are growing personally, professionally, developmentally, building your business, and you're taking in tips, just realize that these people are working, not for themselves, they're working for you. Did Denise have to be here today? No. Could she easily have had a great reason, come up with an excuse and said, there's so many people that can certainly fill in. Nobody will miss me if I'm not there. But aren't you glad she was here?
Yes.
And aren't you glad that she sacrificed some of her valuable time and said, today's going to be a priority? Do you realize she came to work for you?
Yes.
She is fully retired. Let there be no mistake about it. She is completely, if she chooses to be, done. She's done it, been there, helped tens of thousands into 6 figures of people transform their life. But I know if we ask her that question, she's never done. She's constantly serving. She's constantly helping. Her calendar is more filled than anybody else's, not because she has to, but because she wants to. So I want to give you a little example of something that we as leaders would do. Juliet and I do this. Tom and Denise would do this. Here's what it is. Whenever there's an opportunity like this, I never, ever, ever take it for granted, ever, that somebody's working for me. Today, Tom and Denise were working for me. Today, Marianne was working for me. Today, Joe Molly worked for me. Nikki worked for me. Stephen D. Blackburn worked for me today. The least I could do. Juliet, my wife, thank you. He's protecting me. He's protecting me. She's got my back.
Work for you today.
James will work for you
She
today.
had my back. Thank you. James was working for me. My wife, Juliet, was working for us today. The least I could do, the very least I could do was to honor that and fill these seats. If they were going to show up and work for me today, would I be better off to have nobody in these seats, or would I be better off to have somebody in the seats? Somebody in the seats. What's the best way to pull that off? Here's the best way to pull it off. You want to know what I did? You don't know what my strategy was? Here's the strategy. Raise your hand if personally, you either had a phone call from me or you received a text message from me on any level that had to do with today. Raise your hand if we had a conversation with me personally or a text message. Take the time and look around. Look at the hands in here. Keep them up for just a second. Help me out. Keep your hands up. If you got a text message or a phone call, okay, great. That's like half the room. But here's what was really exciting. I looked at my organization. Here's what I did. I literally opened up my genealogy in the back office at Longevity, and I went through right on the top lines where it says, here's the leg, and here's the name, and here's the volume with that group, and I went, there's a leader, 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 and I went line by line with each leg. So if you drew this out, it looked like this, right? So you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I went, okay, so this person and this person and this person and this person, they're not local. So I said, we have a Zoom link. And I told them about today. And after I told them about today, I said, how many people do you have attending Super Saturday via that Zoom link? And I made them give me a number. So some people said, you know, I'm just making up some numbers here. Some people said, I've got 10 people that will be on that Zoom link. And some people said, I have 7 people that will be on that Zoom link. I have 18 people that will be on that Zoom link. And then over here, these were all the people that were physically able to attend. And I texted them. I used Denise's advice and training, and I texted them for the sake of time, and I said, how many people do you have coming to Super Saturday? And they texted me back a number. Right, Tamara? Yes. Right, Joel?
Yes.
Right, Alice?
Yes.
Did I not do that?
You did that.
I did that. Yeah. Right, Dee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I texted them. I said, give me a number. 2 things occurred. Number 1, it told me they were coming. If they don't give me a number, they're not coming. It told me they were coming, so my leaders are coming. But secondly, when they give me a number, some of them paused. I didn't get an answer right away because it was like, oh boy. Oh boy. I need to get the best number I can possibly get. And then they started making phone calls. And after some time, they called me back, texted me back, and said, here's my number. This is a brilliant thing to do, by the way. It's absolutely brilliant. It demands responsibility. It expects accountability. And it says this principle right here. People, listen carefully, people do not perform at the level you expect. They perform at the level you inspect. There you go. You got it? People don't perform at the level you expect. So when you're going, oh yeah, they're all going to come to Super Saturday. Of course. I mean, everybody got the Chenault email link. It went out. I mean, seriously, how much more could people possibly need? But you see, that's like cockroaches in the middle of the night. They just kind of hide and they're out of sight. And what you want to do is put light on the subject. You want to put light on the subject. Does this make sense, Bob?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And so when you put light on the subject like that, you have responsibility and accountability working in your favor, and you put the inspection in there, it's no different than your employer. If you work at a restaurant, Seth, does your employer have expectations of you? Do they make sure that you perform good customer service? Do they review you or preview you every now and then? Do they check in with you and say, how did it go on your shift? What are your takeaways? How'd it go? Anything that you learned out of tonight? Do they make sure that people left with the right tip amounts? Didn't take too much, didn't take too little? Yeah, they do. They inspect because they want great performance out of their staff members. Well, this is not an employee situation. This is an at-will. You sign up, you choose in. Nobody can fire you here. But nonetheless, I always reward good behavior. So who gets my time? The people that are performing based on my inspection. I don't spend time with people that expect it for nothing. My time is valuable. So now I'm going to show you what I do with my valuable time. So all these people showed up this Super Saturday, and they brought people, and I got numbers from them. I get it. Sometimes people change their minds and have things that come up, and so maybe the numbers are a little bit different. It's not the point that there's a checklist going on here. The point is that there's an inspectation. Got it? Inspectation is different than expectation. And that's kind of a cool word. I just made it up. Inspectation is different than expectation. Okay, now I'm going to use a literal example, and I'm looking for a person that is here. Okay, Talia, would you come up here for a second? I know you were looking away from me. How are you doing? Great. Are you nervous right now? Yeah. Okay. You're on camera. The whole world is watching. Say hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Millions and millions of people.
Yes. Here's what's great about Talia. I met Talia through Nikki. And Talia and Nikki have this great friendship. And Nikki actually did what several people taught today. Dan Gibbons, is he still in the room? I know he had to leave early. So Dan Gibbons talked about the power of a third-party higher authority. As much respect and trust that there is between these two ladies, Nikki said, you should meet my friend Scott. Kind of go like that?
Yep.
Exactly. And we sat down, the three of us. We had a conversation, and we got to know each other. And the whole conversation was pretty much just us talking and getting to know each other. We built a relationship first. But now, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, so, and this is real, but she doesn't know this is happening right now, but I want you to see how I take inspectation and I apply it to people that I believe in that are on the team. So the fact that I was looking for you on purpose. The fact that you're standing here right now, I hand selected you just for this role play. Okay. And you don't know this is coming. We haven't rehearsed this, but in front of all these people, I want you to see what you and I and Nikki would have a conversation about, just us by ourselves, but it won't teach anybody else here anything, so they're going to participate. You okay?
Okay.
All right. So, Talia, I want you to see my schedule. Would you say that my schedule is pretty packed?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the reason that my schedule is packed is because, as you could imagine, Juliet and I have been building our business now for about 5.5 years. And there's a fair number of people here. You can probably imagine that I get a lot of text messages in the day. I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails from people that are requesting a little sliver of my time. Obviously, I'm not able to give all those people my time, but I want you to know that I really see something unique and special about you that has caught Juliet's and mine's attention. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Did you notice whose attention it caught? Who did I say?
Yours and Juliet's.
Yours and Juliet's. Why did I do that?
Because Juliet's a woman.
Because Juliet's a woman. I don't want to take any chances that she would, even for a second. I want our relationship to be crisp and pure and clean. We are friends, but at no time do I want her to think that I'm putting out an inappropriate vibe. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm always careful with my words. Even if Juliet's not present, I will say, I want you to know that Juliet and I have taken a notice of you. If I say I've taken notice of you, it could be left open for some rough interpretation. This could go bad. So be very careful with your words. So when I do that, I protect her, I protect myself, I protect us, I protect her longevity inside of longevity. I'll tell you a very fast story. Now, I'm going with this, Denise. This one's not funny though.
Okay.
This one's not funny, but it's very valid. I'm going to leave out names, but here's what happened. 5-ish years ago, when Juliet and I just got started, we'll be right back to you. When we just got started in the business, and we were pumped, excited. Man, were we excited. We were so on fire. Thanks to the mentorship of Tom and Denise, we were on the right path. We were blazing the right trail. Everything's going great. And we had this major event in Denver that Juliet and I organized. It was down at the mayor's mansion. Remember this? Tom, was that not
That was
awesome?
cool.
How many of you were at the mayor's mansion 5.5 years ago down in Denver? Is anybody in the room? One?
Yeah. No,
Two?
Yeah.
Two people, not including, and three? Okay, so 3 of us. So that shows that in 5 years, everyone here is brand new. That's cool, kind of a cool observation. So we're at the mayor's mansion, hoity-toity environment. Suits, ties, high heels, dresses, skirts, gowns. It was awesome. Entertainment, high-end hors d'oeuvres, and people walking around with trays and serving all kinds of stuff. Phenomenal. Well, there was an associate of ours that we had invited to be there. She was brand new. And here's what happened. Neither person is with us anymore. Neither. So I'm telling you a story. Neither people are here. But this is how something goes really bad. I introduced a single gal to somebody else in the company that didn't have their priorities straight, and that other leader made inappropriate connections with this other person, and neither of them here anymore. We cannot afford for those things to happen. None of you can afford for that to happen. We have to be respectful. We have to be honorable. We have to do the right thing. We have to be courteous. And the reason I'm talking about this, because I see some of you are like, whoa, do you really have to bring up something like this? No, I don't have to. I'm choosing to. So being transparent and being open and vulnerable about even the hardest of things to discuss, this is leadership. But now that I've told you this story, do you think she has more confidence in me?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. So now she knows my priorities. And so what's great though is that, Talia, so you can see my schedule is really packed out.
Mhm.
We see something in you. Here's what I want to know. Coming up on this date over here, instead of filling this block with my calendar with just anybody, I'm going to give you an opportunity to fill my calendar in this particular section right here, these particular dates. First of all, if I and Juliet and a couple other leaders that are part of your team that have a vested interest in your success, if we make ourselves available to you exclusively and allow you to fill up that portion of our calendar, I've got 2 appointments in the morning, 2 appointments in the afternoon, and for these 72 hours, I'll give you the first opportunity to fill my calendar. What does that mean, Talia? It means that we'll go do some one-on-ones with you. We'll meet with your key people. So when we look at your prospect list and the people that you really care about most, we'll go to the coffee appointments with you. We'll sit down, we'll go to their homes. Whatever it takes, we'll make your people a priority. If that's something you're willing to receive, I want you to know that's how we feel about you, because obviously with all the people here to work with, somebody else can easily fill that space. If I make that available to you, how would you respond to that?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes.
Okay. So in the next 7 days, my question for you is how many people can you put in front of me? You don't have to answer me right now, but I want you to be thinking about this. In the next 7 days, how many people can you put in front of me? Did you catch how that went? Okay. What's going through her head? Let's get some feedback here. What do you think she's thinking?
Yikes. Yikes.
Who said yikes? You said yikes. Okay, great. And why yikes?
Because if I'm going to commit to tying up 72 hours of your time, I'm going to put a heck of a lot of people in front of you. Otherwise, I just show you that respect.
That's right.
Your time.
Okay, so for everybody on camera, somebody said yikes. He was like, wow, that's pretty amazing, because if you're going to open up that window on your calendar, he wants to respect the calendar, he said, and put as many people in front of you as possible to be honorable. Okay, anybody else have some feedback? Anybody?
I'm sure there are people who are going through your mind. I can get him from Scott. I need to text people right away.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really good. Anything going through your mind that you want to share?
I was kind of just going through my names list
Mhm.
and trying to at least have an answer for you.
Right.
But yeah, and kind of yikes. Like that's a big responsibility, because I do really respect your time, and I'm just wanting to not disappoint. I think is another.
Sure.
thing. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so here's the whole point. Does she feel called out, uniquely represented in this moment?
Yes.
Does she feel elevated?
Yeah.
Is her ego now inflated? Is she more like, wow, this is fantastic? I mean, special attention, that's pretty great, but with the boundaries that I mentioned, so that's all protected. So now she's put on notice. She's been given a window. No procrastination can occur. You can't just blow this off. Would she feel badly if she called me back and said, I know it's short notice, but I don't have anybody? How well would that go off? Not very well. The worst fear she has is doing that. So what's more likely to occur is she's going to inspire people to make good decisions. And by doing this, what am I doing? I'm inspiring people to make good decisions. Is it good for her to build her business? Is it good for her to be put inside of a little window to think about the urgency of that prospect list? Is it great for her to think that she could be putting people that she knows good and darn well might possibly be single moms, raising kids, financially stressed, juggling multiple balls, wanting to get out of debt, health-related issues, time-related issues, relationship-related issues. That's all going through her head. All that has been, pulled to the forefront. We're focusing on that. And can you imagine what we would do if she put 4 or 5 people in front of me in the next 7 days? First of all, let me tell you, I don't know what the percentage is, so I'm just going to make it up. But it's a really good hunch. It's a great hunch. I would say that not 1% of all the people in network marketing do that, or have the ability to do that, or the opportunity to do that with a respectable, grounded leader that knows what they're doing, like Denise. When somebody like this lady right here says, I'm willing to open my calendar and do that for you, it would be insane to not take advantage of that. If your responsibility is to inspire good decision making, and you can say, hey friend, I've got another friend over here, as Dan Gibbons eloquently put it, and I'd like to get the 2 of you connected, how complicated would that be? And when you have the confidence that that conversation is going to go really well and it's going to be focused on relationships, and as Joel put it, use great listening and question asking. Jeremy Gerard, raise your hand, buddy. He did this phenomenally yesterday, incredibly. And I know Paul had to take off, correct? Okay, so he invited a really good friend of his that he's known for 12 years. In his wedding, he was in their wedding. We went and grabbed coffee yesterday. We sat for 2 hours. Jeremy, would you say that he did the majority of the talking?
Yeah.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
And why was that the case?
You're really good at asking questions.
Really good at asking questions. It was like information, intel, absorb, ask more questions, absorb, and then we could tailor make it. He knew nothing until yesterday at 2 o'clock we sat down. We left the coffee shop at 4:15, and it was about 4 o'clock when he finally knew something. And he came today because we created value around this, and you're part of the value. You all being here made the value for him. You don't even know who Paul is. But he found value today because all of you showed up and put energy into this day. Do you see how the magic works right there? That's part of the secret and magic sauce to building an unbelievable team of people. Could you imagine in your head right now, if you had 3 or 4 people in your team that had some new guests that were invited today, how could people say no to this if they're brand new? I don't know how they could. I could make a list of 100 reasons why this is a great idea, and I can make a list with all my might, all my effort and energy. I can make a list of 2 reasons why people wouldn't, not shouldn't, why they wouldn't do this. I can only come up with 2. And if you pay me a whole bunch of more money, I'm not able to make the list larger than 2. I can think of 2 reasons why people wouldn't do this, but I can think of a list of 100 why they should. Aren't those pretty good odds?
Yes.
How many of you want to know what the 2 reasons are? Here's what you should know. There's only 2 reasons why people say no. So that's pretty good odds if there's only 2. And it has to do with some form of fear. And the second one is some form of ego. I'm better than you. I'm better than this. I wasn't trained to do this. Don't you know I got a PhD in something over here and it cost me 200 grand, and this has nothing to do with that PhD. Ego and fear. When you mix those things together, it's the enemy, the ultimate enemy. So this personal growth stuff that we're talking about, that's how we annihilate the fear and the ego so it doesn't exist. When you do what Dan does, it disappears. It just totally goes away, and then everybody's got all that stuff in the rearview mirror. Was this helpful for you guys today?
Yes. Yes.
Really helpful?
Yes.
Perfect. Talia, thank you so much. Give her a- I'm going to put something on the screen, and my helper's gone, so bear with me. There we go. So I'm going to turn this on, and I think it'll fire up. So I think it's going to happen automatically. So what's about ready to come up on the screen is an event that is taking place, and I want you all to put it on your calendars right now. The event is called Leadership Mastery. How many of you like the way those two words flow together? Everybody's a leader right here, number 2. And when you can master this particular subject or topic, it's so powerful. So Leadership Mastery, that event is going to be on June 16 and 17 right here in this building. So I want you to imagine for a second, there's going to be hundreds, I don't know how many hundreds, but many hundreds of people that will be here for this event, and they're going to come in from all over the world. And you guys have this event in your backyard, So for all of you, 0 excuses, 0. You don't have one. They don't exist. On June 16 and 17, this event is going down. Does that look like it's going to fire up or no? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's I know that's small. Don't worry if you cannot read it. I'm going to tell you about it. These pictures right here, that's a fraction of the people that are the best of the best of the best at leadership. And Dan Gibbons will be here. At leadership and mastery put together, we're bringing in the best that we can possibly put our hands on to teach on the topics of leadership. Some of these individuals are going to be your 4-star executives and above. That's the bar. You want to teach on that stage, 4-star executive and above. On top of that, we have Dave and Sunshine Brisky, our very own president of Longevity, and his wife that runs the Be the Change Foundation. We're going to have a Be the Change event right here that's headquartered right out of this area on Friday the 16th in the afternoon. Everybody gets to participate in that. It's going to be awesome. And then on top of that, Thursday night is when it all begins. If you are a 4-star executive or above, Juliet and I are hosting an incredible event in our home. And our home is fun to be in. You haven't been in our home lately, you got to come over. We're talking about billiards and ping pong and big screens and outside and lights and fireplaces and all kinds of really cool stuff and entertainment and catering that's going to be brought in. But you must be a 4-star executive or above. That's on the 15th. Notice I didn't say the event started until the 16th. So this is a pre-event thing. And the Chenaults will be there. The Briskies will be there. Alex Tice is going to be there. One of our VPs, Sean Brown, and Annalise will be there as well. Sanjeev Javia, our healthy body coach, is going to be there. That's on Thursday night. On Friday morning, we are going to host another event, which is going to be right here across the street at the Summit. It is an incredible entertainment place to hang out. Amazing food, phenomenal bowling alley. We're going to take out multiple lanes, and all the 2-star executives and above are invited to come and participate in that. We're going to have professional photography and videography from the company. And then in the afternoon on Friday, we've got all the Be the Change stuff that's going to happen on Friday afternoon. And then everything kicks off Friday night. 6 o'clock in the evening till 9 o'clock in the evening, we're talking training, leadership mastery from the best of the best. And then all day Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. till 5 p.m., training from the best of the best. So we are going to pack that out for you guys. It's going to be amazing. Here's the link right here. Register at this link right here. I'm not going to read it out loud. You can take a picture of that if you want to. We'll leave that up there. But you want to get registered now. I noticed that there were some different strategies of people coming in today. Some of you came right up and you filled up the front rows. Others of you found places to blend in. Some of you chose to stand or sit in the back throughout this event. All those are interesting. They're not right or wrong, they're just interesting. And so what I want you to do is lead by example. The thing you want to do is go to this link right here through PayPal. PayPal.me/Fardulis/75. It's $75 per person to be at this event. It's 4 months from now. And I'm going to tell you this, there will be a sellout because the rooms only hold so much people. So when that sells out, and you're the first to know, today, nobody knows this formally except all the people that have agreed to be there so far. The list is growing. Nobody knows except for you and everybody that's watching online. So the word is now out, and people are going to go to that link and they're going to register. All I know is it is going to sell out, and it's not going to sell out right before the event starts. It's going to sell out way before the event starts. So go get your tickets, get registered, and here's strategically why you want to do that. Because as soon as you're registered, you're going to tell your team to go. And you're going to call them up, and you're going to use this strategy that I showed you how to do, and you're going to say 2 things. Are you registered, and how many people do you expect from your team to be there? That's what you're going to end up doing. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how significant your business is going to grow between now and that event? But when you take your entire business and parlay it right on top of leadership mastery and take your entire teams in there to get taught by these amazing people, then your business is going to do something that you only dreamed was possible. And it's because of what Denise taught, event to event to event. You guys excited about this?
Yes.
Excellent. I want to thank all of you for being here today. And I want to introduce you to one of my best friends in the entire world on this planet that happens to be here with us today. It's very, very rare that Denise and Tom and Juliet and I get into the same room, because at our level, we're so needed in so many different directions. It's just rare to pull it off where our timing and our calendars work out to be together like this. So today means a lot to us. It really does. And I don't know if you all can appreciate that yet, but it just means the world to us that we're here together, that they took the time to be here today, that they prepared as they did to be here today. But I have learned so much by watching this couple, by observing this couple, seeing how they live their life, how they treat people, how they behave. What you couldn't see in the back corner, I just met some new friends that came in today. They walked in, so it was Blaine.
Yes.
And have you had fun today?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. And I didn't mean, you had your hand up earlier. Is it even relevant anymore? We're past that? Okay.
Really valuable.
Okay, so Blaine and Ann, today was good for you. I know that you've seen a few presenters in your time period, so it means the world that you're here today. But they have a little girl named Juliet. And so, of course, that caught my attention. So we started talking in the back. But what Tom did is he took it to another level. So Juliet's just this precious little girl over here that's got the striped leotards on. And she's laying down in the corner. And Tom goes back and sits in the corner and is playing with her, talking to her, laughing with her. He's on the floor at her level, hanging out. I took a picture. Of course, I threw it on Facebook already. But that's the kind of man that Tom is. You would think that he doesn't notice some things, that he's just kind of in his own world. He notices everything. And he's smart like an elephant. He forgets nothing. Nothing except his iPad and his cell phone and all those gadgets. And he leaves those on buses and airplanes and other people's cars. But that's not what really matters. What matters is that when he sees you or meets you, he's so good at this. He doesn't forget names. He doesn't forget faces. He doesn't forget the moment. He can pull out a chapter from anything and tell you, oh yeah, I remember that, and here's what we were doing. That was so awesome. Here's how it impacted me. So he's a very heartfelt person. But that heartfelt personality and his complete purity to serve other people has done more for us than I could ever begin to tell you. And I want him to close out the day. So let's honor him and welcome Tom Chenault.